So today we have a 2012 Toyota Highlander Limitada. Limited. 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 Sounds totally normal. I don't know what you're talking about. Those of you who don't understand, I'm asking, do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? It stopped! Yep. It stopped. Do you realize that every time there's a weird noise on your car and you take it to the mechanic, it stops? It stops making the noise. It's fine. I fixed it. Video done. We're over. That's how you fix a noise. Bring it to the mechanic. Oh, breaking stuff. Breaking my chairs. Always breaking my stuff. I'm telling you what. The window doesn't work. Does the window not work? It should. Well, it should, but it don't. Oh, that's new. That's new. It's the new safety window for the drivers. It only goes down part way. So when you're eating a carrot, you can release
carrot shavings?
Carrot shavings. So today we have a 2012 Toyota Highlander Limitada. Limited. 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 Ted Limmy. He just likes his last name first. I'm gonna go in the shade because it's hot, and the camera probably needs it more than I do. But our good buddy Fernando over here has been so kind to bring his Lime Ted to our shop here because it's making some noise, and we want to help a buddy out. So today's going to be kind of a day of just helping buddies out. The problem was he was driving along, put a brand new battery in it. Words are hard, as you guys already know. I should know. I don't know if you know. Maybe you don't know. Do you know? I've been on the road for the last 13 days, and yesterday was a long drive from New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. But the brain's not fully functional. But it's functional enough to do this. So we're gonna find out what's wrong with it. It's making a noise. It's not charging. Some other super mechanic at Vatozone told him it was the tensioner pulley, which that's not gonna affect your charging, guys. It's just not. So somebody tells you that my car's not charging and it's your tensioner pulley, talk to somebody else. Just a point of advice. So we're gonna go through this, we're gonna look at it, we're gonna do a couple little testing on it, but I'm 99.9536712% sure that it's the alternator that is the issue. We have found them, they are in stock at the local O'Smiley's. And so we'll get this one out, we'll do some verify that that's what it is. And maybe we'll even make the O'Reilly's guys work, you know, throw it on their little, and see if it, and if it doesn't, then we know it's, and we're gonna replace a new one. So that's what we're gonna do. A couple little testing things. We'll take you guys along for that, and we'll get this thing replaced. Let's see if we can do a little bit better than what like the YouTube videos that are already out there say how to do it. I don't know. Maybe we take a sledgehammer to the front of this so we can get it out. Have you seen that before? I doubt it. Or maybe we just do it the right way. Do you want me to do it the right way?
No.
I like that. All right. So he's been having to disconnect the battery because it's been running on the battery. It's basically an electric vehicle right now. And it's not making electric things happen. So I told him to stop at every Tesla charging station and hook it back up, and he can get another 30 miles and we'll be fine. But he doesn't want to listen to me on that, so we're going to actually have to fix it now. It's bullcrap. It's annoying, but we're going to do it. And he needs the drive belt replaced anyways, so while we got the spinny alternator thing off, we're going to change on the belt. We're going to see if it's lost any weight. I think it was a size 40, now we're hoping to go to a size 36. You know, you can always tell if it's lost weight by a smaller belt. So, I gotta get some tools together, and then we're gonna do some poking and prodding real quick. Let me grab a voltmeter, and then we'll see if it's gonna start again, and we'll probably just start pulling the alternator. Sound like a plan? You guys coming along? You there still? No? Okay. You know, we're in a weird predicament, by the way, here at Voodoo Monkey Garage. We have far more subscribers than we have views on our current videos. Go back and watch the last ones. Just saying. And when you're done, if you haven't subscribed, it's just right there. It's a simple, it's free. Do it. Thumbs up. Tell me I'm an idiot on the comments. It's fun. Do it. Right? Right? You watch all my videos, don't you? He watches every one of them.
Just not a subscriber though, but I watch them.
Just on what?
I'm not a subscriber. I just watch them.
All right, guys, we're gonna do a couple things here real quick. We have a fluke. See, we call it fluke because of that, just like a spa or jacuzzi. It's not really the name of what it is. It's a hot tub, but we call it a spa or jacuzzi because that's the name we adopted. Voltmeter, ammeter, doodab that tells you how much juice is running through a system. Whatever you want to call it. This is the one I always go to because I can also use this at home. You know, we can run a wire through here and it'll sense if there's something happening some way. Not really sure how this works, but I know it does. And so we're gonna use it. Red goes to the happy side, black goes to the sad side. We're gonna put it on V for victory. So we'll put it on victory, or I guess voltage, if you want to be boring about it. And then we're just gonna come over here and we're gonna see just where the battery is static, so all by itself. And we're sitting at, here, we'll put it where you guys can see it here. No, I guess we can go the other way here, but can you see it now? Because I can. What just fell on my leg? Why are your lights falling out? I didn't do that. Okay. Happy, big side. Sad, small side. And we're at 12. Without it running. Let's go start this thing and see what it does. Foot on the brake. Push the button. Now let's see where we're at. Happy side, sad side. Well, I'll be. It's doing nothing. And I mean nothing. It should be at 13 or 14 volts, and it is not. There's not really much other to look at right there, right? We can come in here, we can see the belt is spinning. You may or may not be able to see it, but the alternator's right on top. We can see it spinning. It's doing spinny things. The other thing we can do is we can check to see if the alternator is being excited. Like if it's like having a good day and drinking Form Energy. Not a sponsor, could be, but it would be excited if it was, wouldn't it? But yeah, so you can just make sure that the alternator has the exciter wires getting charged as well, that there's 12 volts there. We can do that. I'm not gonna. I'm just not. There's other accessories that are working that are tied to that. I mean, I can see if there's a fuse, but I mean, realistically, that happens like 1 out of 100 times. So as long as it's spinning and I'm getting no juice at the battery, 99 out of 100 times that alternator's bad. I really don't find it a lot, that the exciter wire. But in order for an alternator to work, it needs to have power. To make power, you got to supply power, right? To spin an object, you first have to supply the power, the energy to spin it, and then it'll spin. So that's the same way. So we can check and see if there's juice getting to it. That's down in there somewhere. We're just gonna start pulling it apart. And then what we can do is when we get to O'Smiley's, they have a little testy doodad machine and they can hook it up and spin it real quick and see if it's doing alternator things, making juice. So let's shut this down before it gets hotter. And, you know, start pulling stuff. The other thing I'm going to do is, because we're hearing that noise, so the cool thing is when we pull this belt, we'll be able to spin some of the other bearings, you know, the other pulleys, and see if there's a bearing noise. Because while you have all the belt off, and you know, in the meantime, you're forgetting the routing of the belt and having to look it up on the Google machines later. But during that time of forgetting how the belt routed, we can spin pulleys and see if there's anything else that needs to be changed. It's potentially making that noise, because it's making a noise. Did I mention it's making a weird noise? I don't know. I'm gonna pull some stuff, and we'll bring you guys along for it. So let me grab some tools and get some stuff together, and then we'll start showing you guys how to pull all these things. I'm acting like I'm talking to the alternator. Kind of am. I'm just bringing you guys along. Tools! 2GR Fay. 2 Giraffe. This is a Toyota V6 2 Giraffe. I don't know why the Japanese spell it that way, but I spell giraffe differently. But, you know, I'm not Japanese. Look at all the room. There is absolutely none. Perfect. Just how we like it. They like to tuck these things in there, so you have to remove 97,000 things. You remember in the previous video when I talked to you guys about disconnecting batteries? Quick test. Leave in the comments the answer, because I'm not going to tell you. Do you disconnect the positive or the sad one? The negative? Negative. Or the positive? Which one do you disconnect? Tell me down below, because I really don't know. I do. But I told you guys before, and if you didn't watch that video, it's somewhere down there. I don't know how this stuff works, but it's there. And I say it somewhere. I think it's the Chevy Avalanche that we talked about before we did the rear. I gotta get another tool. Why? Ask me a question when I get back. We're having too much fun today. All right. Disconnect the battery. One of them. I'm not telling you which one.
I'm walking away.
Yeah, leave. Why don't you make like a tree and leave? Well, might as well disconnect both of them at this point. You know, because somebody likes to rat me out. Here's the answer, guys. You know, that's grounds for getting your face duct taped. Just saying. Where I come from. Now, in order to get to anything on a Honda or a Toyota or a Hyundai, and especially an Audi, first step is to remove the front bumper. Second step is to remove the rear bumper. Third step is to lift up the radiator cap and put a whole new car under it, and then it'll be fixed. Now that we have power disconnected, we can start figuring out how this guy is going to come out of here, because I'm just telling you, everything is in the way of this thing. There is just no denying that. They decided, let's run coolant hose in front of it and an AC line behind it, because surely we're not going to have to change this part ever. And yet here we are changing it. And let's bolt 1,700 things to it. Great. Just great. Thanks, Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, whatever this thing is. I appreciate your efforts. Okay, 10 millimeter, that removes your battery cable. And then one of these removes and loosens the tensioner. We're gonna figure out which one it is. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's probably a 14 because it usually is, and it is. Man, somebody's got a brain somewhat today. Tensioner is the one you can see. The one you can't see is the idler, but you can see what bolt I'm on right there. That's the center bolt for the tensioner. We're gonna put it nice and low so we can just pull up towards the back of the vehicle, and then we're gonna burn our fingers and take the belt off. Sound fun? Perfect. Oh, of course. That AC's line is right in the way of my wrench, because that would just be asking too much for it to not be. Oops. Yep. Okay, we're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen. Ow, that's hot. You know, I quit. You guys figure it out on your own. Okay. We also have a few items bolted to it. So you're just gonna want to come around here and see what's bolted to the alternator. The alternator's just right up front. This is our alternator, tucked right there. See that thing, that piece of metal that's tucked in this corner? That's the alternator. They've got this, well, I might be able to just slide that guy off without having to disconnect it. We'll see. I didn't bring a pry bar, I didn't bring nothing. Nothing to get any of this off. Man, I'm telling you, some guys just don't plan. You know, we were out there doing yard work, and it's 140 million degrees out here in Phoenix, Arizona. And we're just melting our fingers, you know? That's what we do. All right, with the battery disconnected and everything unhooked, I'm gonna have to go get my little socket set and little wobblies and other stuff, because things are at funny angles and my ring won't come off because my fingers are swollen because it's 9 million degrees out. Oh, yeah. Ow. Dang, why do you have to be so hot? Honestly, ow! 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 Just kidding. It's a little toasty, guys. You know, one recommendation I would make is let the car cool off before you work on it. Just let it be patient. All right, we pulled this guy off right up on top. That's our little power output dealie. So when this thing's making juice and it's shooting it out at lightning speed, it comes through that cable. And so that one's off, just a 10 millimeter nut. See? And oh, it's melting the plastic. No, it's not really. It's just my finger. And then there's another one right down below it that we're going to have to unplug. And then we got to do the bolt up here. And then there's a bolt all the way down there in the hot spot. So I'm going to do some of the stuff up on top. And then it really looks like we're going to have to do some fun stuff. So looking at this, we're definitely going to have to pull somehow, some way, the fan. What I'm trying to do is do all of this without opening up the cooling system. Not sure how successful we're going to be with that, but boy, are we going to try. And then, if we're really lucky, our neighbor will come home and his dog will stop barking. Oh wait, that has nothing to do with anything, does it? If you can't get them unplugged, just cut the wires. You don't need them. Just a cooling fan. Probably unplug those for no reason whatsoever, because it looks like that all comes out as one piece. Okay. Now, wow, they just tucked everything into everything on this, didn't they? I mean, like, this has to come out, but we snapped 1,400 things to it. And I'm really trying to do this without breaking everything. And for those of you in the cold country, you like plastic, I assume. For those of us in the hot country, not so much. Because everything out here, plastic, gets hot and breaks. And that just is terrible, you know? Just absolutely terrible. The nice thing is they give you a, parts tray. The other nice thing is half of them are already missing. Less work. And the really nice thing is these things aren't hot right now. Now, when I say things are going to cool down, in Arizona, that means it's going to get below 200 degrees. And your fingers will only slightly melt when you touch them. See this? Dripping everywhere. You're gonna have my DNA on your car there, bud. I'm just saying. We're gonna get this little snorkel out of the way, because if there's something in the way, we should get it out of the way. I think these bolts are melting to my sockets. That one goes right there. This one comes out. Now, if you don't have one of these fancy tools, then you'll realize that this isn't a fancy tool. And you can just use whatever tool you have. Don't recommend a pocket knife for removing bolts, but that's all you got. Sometimes that's all you got, you know? That's nice. Okay. And we found we have a secondary one in the way properly. So let's go ahead and do that one too. It's like scooping ice cream in an oven. When are you touched it? Why are you? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to take that out. Fine, we'll do it. Didn't want to. When my pliers don't work, we can't do it. Go home.
All right. Put everything back together.
Put it all. I'm not putting it back together. It's not my job. You just want me to take it apart. Oh wait, no, you wanted me to fix it, huh?
Yeah.
Fine. Came to the wrong guy. You guys didn't see that. I did. Drew backed up. He's like, I'm out of here.
Me too.
Oh, you guys are a bunch of chickens.
Yeah.
Bunch of chickies.
Well, if you have enough things explode on you, you learn to move back.
Yeah, well, I mean, or you just stand there and take it like a man, you know? Drew? So if you want to be smart, because I never claimed to be, put something below to catch it. Or if you just want to be reckless and have fun, I just showed you that. We're going to try to get tricky with this, just a little bit tricky, because I want you to remove this completely. Why did you tie that to that? Why? Why? You guys hear that? Oh, this isn't Popeye's chicken. It's my fingers. Okay. Remove the O2 sensor clamp from the radiator hose so that we don't have to have that in the way. And then fold this up where it's gonna burn your fingers. And where it's barely held on so that when it flings back, it shoots coolant in your eye sockets. You guys following me so far? Perfect. Now, if you want to, you can ever so carefully bend this line. Just don't let the customer see you do that. His eyes are closed. And then just carefully. This is how you don't do this. When you're trying to cheat just a little bit. There we go. Cheat mode engaged. Now that cheat mode's engaged, and the fan's out of the way, and we have already forgotten why we're here doing what we're doing. I'm gonna reach back down in here in this hot thing and remove that guy. Okay. So now we got wires off the alternator, and we should be free to go. So there's a bolt. This is the back of the bolt, but it comes right through the front. So we'll take that guy off. It looks like it might be a 14 is my guess, maybe a 15. But I know most of these Toyotas, they like their 14s. All right, get that out of my way. Now you can see the bolt. Uh-huh. See, they like their 14s. All right. So, stick a little wrench on there. And we'll get that guy loose. And then we can come back in with our little wrench. Stick that down in there. And then with a hope and a prayer, that bolt comes loose. And it's nice and cool. This is the one that sucks. I saved the best for last. This is down underneath, and this engine is still very, very hot. Wow, that's hot. It's a secondary bolt. Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna let that cool down because this is burning my fingers. And I'm not gonna be able to get in there. So we're gonna let it cool down a little bit more because everything is hot. Like very, very hot. And then we'll come back in and get the rest of this out. So bear with me, but we're getting close. It's just hot. If I didn't need a core, I would throw it across the shop. Let me tell you what we found out that nobody tells you. The alternator sits in the engine like this. Okay? You have, well, like this. You have the bolt up here that goes all the way through. You have the bolt down here that only goes through this section. And way down here, you have another bolt on the back side that you got to pull out, because there's a little tiny bracket with a wire hook to it, and I'll show you that in there. It's a 12mm bolt. You got to remove that guy. Here's the problem. It holds a wire. That's this bracket right here. This bracket bolts to the alternator, and it also bolts to the block underneath the exhaust. But it houses, well, let me blind you. Yep, that shows you where we're at down here. It houses this wire, which clips in, not on the front side where you can get to it, but the back side. See that little clippy guy right there? See that little plastic right there? Yeah, the one you can't get to because it sits in here like this. See if I can get enough light down there. That bracket sits like this. Tell me, engineers, how do I get to that? How do I get to this sideways bolt? So you have to take the bolt out that goes underneath the exhaust, that goes forward, so you can loosen the alternator enough, get it out enough, and then have somebody else hold it, burning their hands at the same time you're burning yours. So you can barely get a socket on it, which is like held in with like 3 freaking welds. Completely pointless. And then you can finally break it free. Meanwhile, rake your knuckles across the radiator and punching a hole in the side of the block. But we got the alternator out. So if you're prying on the thing and it's not moving, you got another bracket. It's in your way. Oh yeah, and you have to take the upper radiator hose off and a couple other clips down below, you know, some other electronical stuff that goes to the air compressor and all that. But let's just ignore all that. So 3 trips to the psychiatrist and 2 trips to the chiropractor later, we got the alternator out. And the psychiatrist said, yep, I'm absolutely nuts. And the chiropractor said, good luck getting it back in. So we're gonna go get the parts now, so we can go through this torture again. Have fun. Enjoy. Because all good things you have to work hard for. Rewards and pots at the end of the rainbow and stuff. Stupid Toyota. Freaking manufacturers of things that don't work and stuff. Whatever. Sledgehammer time. Just let me guess, the belt goes around the frame. Is that what we're gonna do now? That one sounds like it's burning my hand. We poured water on this, by the way. In case you didn't know. You do now. Because it cooled down to the ambient temperature outside, which is about 4,762 degrees. You can bake cookies on the top of my toes. It's so hot. But I'm testing the other pulleys because my fingers aren't burnt enough. And my arm, my wrist is just well done, and I wanted medium rare. I didn't have a choice. So we're gonna go get parts. And we need a belt too. So we're gonna take this belt off and match it up. Make sure that you get the right one. We're gonna leave the belt right there, because that's where it stays. I quit. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Lame. Time to go back together. We got the new alternator. I've got to get this belt off because we're going to swap on the belt too. Forgot about that part. But hopefully in the process of getting the alternator, the belt area cooled down. Nope. So we're going to get the belt off. We're going to swap that out before I cram the alternator in, because I can actually get my hands down in some of that at this point. And yeah. Whoever decided to turn engines sideways should just... They need Jesus. They need Jesus. I don't know why they do this. It just... I really don't like transverse engines. I'm not a fan. Just not a fan. I know when they come in, ow, it's gonna be ow, hot and ow. It's just not ow, ow. Gonna be fun. But you know what? Always look on the bright side of life. That's the bright side. Now I can't see. I'm gonna go back to the dark side. Fernando, it's nap time.
Okay. Big spoon or little spoon?
You knocked that off your car.
Oh, okay.
It
Cool.
wasn't my fault. I didn't
No,
do
not
it.
at all. It's all totally my fault.
Yep, 100%. You know, Toyota, when there's a panel that needs to come off so we can change a belt, please don't put 7 other panels on top of it. Thank you.
Hey, you lost a 10.
No, I didn't lose a 10. Should have borrowed the one
14,
from
12.
O'Reilly. It's the chrome one.
The chrome? Oh.
Thank you, sir.
Freshly acquired from O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
Yes. I mean, I'm telling you, the bolts are like this far from the frame, and the belt's that wide. So when you're going this far to that wide, it doesn't work. Need some like magic to get somebody to say a prayer. Your prayer worked. Thank you. Now that my legs are sunburnt and I took a nap, I don't know. Go away. I can do it myself. Okay.
I'll tell you that next time you say, help me.
My cankle still hurts. Okay. I really don't even know how this came off. But I know it came off. Do you remember how that came off? I wasn't paying attention. I was just taking it off. Usually I just take a knife and cut them. And then just, you know, figure it out from there. Usually, it's the easiest way to get one off. It's the worst way to get it back on. And then you gotta cram your arm down here, then cram it there, and then it doesn't fit. And turn it sideways so you can get it past the water pump bolts. Sneak it past the frame. Break a couple things along the way. And you'll get it. There we go. All you have to do is just say a bunch of words. And somehow, I mean, this outlet is just, it's hot. It really is. I'm not even joking, guys. I need you to look up the belt routing on this because I seriously didn't even look. I just got it off of there because I wasn't really paying attention. And I think it goes around something and then around another thing and then behind something and then loops back around, and then I think you just tie it in a knot to make up the space. Pretty sure that's how it goes. Stand by while we do some researchals. I have an idea of how it goes though. I really do. I just don't have an idea of how to get my hands in there to make it go where it goes. So I do know that that's got to go on top of that. All right, we got the belt routed back on. It's just belt routing, you can figure that out. But now you can't forget to put these 12 mils with that stupid wiring harness and that bracket in a spot you can't get to without killing yourself. So we're gonna just kill ourselves with this thing. And it's just, there's no room. So it's gonna be fun. You really can't see what I'm doing here, but if you remember, there was that bracket down below. There is no room for anything. I'll be honest, I'm mind blown at how dumb this is. It's a wire that hugs the AC compressor. And I mean, I even thought like, okay, unclip the little harness, bolt it on, and you can snap the harness in, but the problem is it snaps onto the back side of the bracket. And you can't get your hands in there to pop it back in. You definitely don't want, you need it snapped on, otherwise it lays on stuff that's hot. So we're gonna figure out how to get that in. about what it's like working on this car. I think we got them all lined up. I know we did. So what I ended up doing for that bracket was, while I had the alternator out, I unclipped the wire. Not the wire at the end, but just where it clips into the bracket. And then I took the alternator back out, mounted the bracket to the alternator, because trying to line all that up with no room was impossible. Maybe you guys know how to do it. You can bleep bloop it down below, right there. Comment. You suck. Here's how you do it. I'm cool. But that was not fun. And I got a pair of needle nose pliers, long needle nose, and just kind of jammed them down in there, moved the alternator around, and finally went click. Then it worked. Maybe I got lucky. I don't know. But it clicked. I heard it. And put the alternator in. It was kind of down in there. You just can't see anything. You can't feel, you can't see, you can't get your mitts down in there unless you got like carny hands. There's no room. So finally got it snapped in, and now we're putting all the bolts in the alternator. I got the one in the block. Remember, when you're putting stuff together, keep it all loose unless it's the one you have to tighten, because you can never get to it again. And just kind of put the puzzle together, and now we're tightening everything up. So I got the upper bolt in and tight. The lower bolt's getting tightened right now. And then the one that goes to the block on that stupid bracket, that one's gonna go in next. I think that's the official name of it, actually, the stupid bracket. I don't know, it's what I'm calling it. If it's not the name, it is now. You don't like that? Not my problem. Because my arms are the ones that are burnt down in this hole, not yours. And I don't remember if this can get in there. Probably not. So, no, of course, no, that's right. We had to do this a different way, didn't we? So, I remember these were torqued down to somewhere between Hulk Smash and Thor. So we're just gonna torque it right here. Hold on. Click. So that one's torqued. 14 millimeter on the top, all the way down by the idler pulley or tensioner pulley or one of the pulley thingies. Top one. Click. Torqued. Piece of metal in my finger somewhere. Oh, that's what's making this fun. Okay, I see you. And then we gotta get to that bottom one all the way down there by that bracket. And all the way underneath the exhaust here, we got that bracket one that goes to the block, 12 millimeter. Somebody will know that I've been in here because there's a piece of blue tape on it. Because the last thing you want to do is drop a bolt when you're already can't see what you're doing. So we did the old tape trick. And we're gonna torque this one down. I hope this is all I need to do. Ugh. Click. Perfect. Nicely rounded off, just like we like it. And then we can start putting stuff back together. I mean, it kind of goes together the way it came off, which is, you know, somewhere between impossible and GFY. Kept that PG for your kids. I really did. And we're gonna get this belt back on right now, and then just start snapping everything back together. Put the hose back on. Yes, we had to take the upper radiator hose off. We unplugged the AC compressor. Just make sure everything's plugged back in before you call it quits and tell your mom to come get her car. And then she drives home in 115 degrees and it's, my AC's not working, you broke it. Don't want that. None of us want that. Who wants their mom yelling at them? I mean, shoot. Got enough of that when I was a kid. I don't need more of it now. So we're just gonna make sure we got everything bolted back on, put back together, and snapped in. really all it is, guys. Reverse what you just did, and hopefully a lot less of a pain. We'll go underneath and make sure that we got all the skirts put back on. You don't want this old girl driving around with no skirt on. Nobody wants that. That's illegal in most states. So we'll make sure we put it back together all nice and pretty. I don't know if you guys want to come along with that. Kind of pointless. You guys know how that goes. It's just remember where everything went. And if you're one of those guys that has a hard time remembering, when you take a bolt off, put it back in the hole. Draw a Venn diagram or a circle thing. Take pictures. Phone a friend. Eat a banana. Something, right? The monkey ate my mango. I don't know. So we're gonna put it back together. We'll come back and let you guys know what it all looks like and pray that it works. It will. Let me get this together so I can say some more choice words that you guys don't need to hear. All right. All right, we got everything back together. It all goes back together the way that we took it apart. We also replaced the idler pulley. We're gonna see if the noise goes away. So the noise was still there, but now it's charging. We went ahead and tested it the same way I showed you to test it beforehand. Tested it again. Sad cable, happy cable with the fluke, just over between 13 and 14 volts. So it's charging the way it should be. Alternator's working. That was definitely the original problem. It wasn't the noise, but it was a problem with it not charging. So we got that fixed. I've got to tell you, this is not a fun alternator to do. I've done some that are not fun. This one is not fun. So be patient. Enjoy. You gonna fire it up? Yep. We're gonna fire this thing up. I don't hear the noise. Shut it down. So here's one of the things to show. That noise was could be the bearings in the alternator. Typically not. It's typically going to be your idler or your tensioner pulleys. They're essentially the same thing, just one's on a spring arm and the other one's not. But one of the things, I should have shown this to you guys earlier, but if you get a brand new one, it's not going to spin that nice. So the fact that these, when you pull them off and you're like, oh, that's spinning really nice, the new one doesn't, you need the resistance. Okay, so these start to get worn out. You can feel a little bit of end play. You can't see it. You're not gonna be able to see it at all in there, but you can feel it, like when I'm pulling it like up and down, I can feel a little clicking. And then even when I spin it, you can hear the bearings kind of making a grinding noise, especially if you shake it side to side, you can hear a little clicking. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's not completely shot, but it's shot enough that it's making that noise when it's spinning at super high RPMs. Okay, because it's able to kind of bounce around, and those bearings are probably getting a little rounded out or flattened out in a couple spots. They're supposed to be round, but they're probably getting flattened out in a couple spots. They're dirty, and they should not spin that easily. That is just way too easy. So they came out of the box completely hot because it's been sitting in the car, and everything's been hot on here. Hopefully you guys are in a cooler environment and enjoying that. But I think that's about it. We've tested everything. You guys saw how to do that. We showed you that. Everything's back together. We're gonna put the skirt back underneath. We'll put the cowling back, everything. Well, that's the cowling, but we'll put the everything back. Whatever the plastic crap back on the car. We're gonna plastic wrap the car again. But new belt, new idler, new alternator. Everything's back together. Thank you guys for coming along. We appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to comment. Tell me where I could have done something different. I like to learn. I also like to laugh. And if you think I'm a fool or I did something really stupid, by all means tell me. But if you think I'm absolutely beautiful and fantastic and I have the prettiest eyes on the planet, you can tell me that too. I'm not gonna get mad at you. My wife might not either. She'll get, no, maybe. Don't do that. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you guys. I need water and what's it called now? Form Energy. Not a sponsor. Could be. But I'm also gonna need you guys to put the word first back in, because I'm having difficulties with just form. I need first form. Because if it's the last form or just a form, I may not get the energy anymore. But if it's the first form, there is energy supplied. Not a sponsor. Should be?
It's a sacrifice, right?
You can't say that!
My bad. I didn't know you got
Dude,
to
you
roll
gave
it.
him the answer. All right, cut. I mean, we gotta cut it right there. I'm just cut. Jeez, these foul-mouthed people, man. What are we gonna do with them? Huh? Should deport everybody with a foul mouth. That'll get cut. This Trump-loving guy, man, he's a racist. Stop it. Stop with all the anger and hatred, people. Just stop. Okay.